Today, I'm going on a hike. So I think that I'm really fortunate and live in Utah. I live, 5 minutes from the mouth of Little and Big Cottonwood Canyon, which for me is like the ultimate dream. I love that I could be 30 minutes from snowboarding, but I also have access to all of these trails in the summer. And I for a long time, I didn't come out here because it was difficult for a lot of reasons. If you've watched my videos, it's hard to climb uphill. It's hard to yield downhill. Then you have things like socket fit, and socket fit is an issue for all of us at a certain time, whether it's a certain time during the day or things are going well for a while and then one day you wake up and it just isn't anymore. And it's very frustrating. It's a frustrating part of being an amputee, and all of us are used to having to wear socks and layer socks. And it can be so frustrating to try to go hiking like this, or to try to go on a vacation and be like, I have to bring 30 plies of socks because yesterday I was layering a 5 and a 3 and a 2 ply, and today I'm layering, 2 5-ply, and tomorrow I might be layering just a single ply. And it's just this amputee math that is very frustrating to have to live with, but it is reality for all of us in one way or another. I mean, I have a really good socket fit 95% of the time, I'd say, but that other 5% of the time, it is frustrating when I don't have full control of my limb. And often for me, when that happens is when I am out hiking or snowboarding or doing whatever it is that I'm being super active and climbing in elevation. A lot of times that's when I'll notice that my volume will come down. And so about halfway up a hike or halfway through the day of snowboarding, I'll realize that I'm floating in the bottom of my socket quite a bit. And it's always frustrating. I never want to bring socks and like have to stop and layer up socks and do all of those things. And so recently I was able to get the Ethnocare Overlay sleeve. This is basically an inflatable sock. It really makes a difference in the amount of things that you have to bring, for one, but two, in just have the comfort and function of my socket throughout a long hot day out on the trail. So the overlay system is really just, like I was saying, an inflatable sock. You can see here it's a sleeve that goes over your liner and then has these air bladders in the bottom, and then this little valve that goes to a pump and an expulsion valve here. And it comes with a hand pump as well if you want to use that. But when I'm out and about, this is really just all that you need to bring. And so I have a unique socket as well. And so it's taken a little bit of trial and error to get this to work right. But now that it does, I really do like wearing it. And I don't wear it every day because typically, like I was saying, 95% of the time I have a good socket fit. So I don't even have space for this. This really takes up about 2 ply of room. So if you're somebody that's out there wearing 2 ply of socks all of the time, you can fit this in there and wear this all of the time and not have to wear 2 ply and be a little bit cooler and have the benefit of being able to adjust those ply without having to take your leg off and relayer and do all of that math. So the overlay has the bladders that are integrated in, and it has they have a bunch of different versions. Like mine, I just have to fill in that flat invagination area that I have in the back of my leg, but I've seen the ones that have bladders going all the way up the limb, or just a single bladder at the very bottom or in the middle. They really can be pretty customized to what you need. I wear a sleeve in a little bit different transfemoral socket, and so we're just gonna install because it's a little bit different to use, but I still get benefit out of it. If you flip it inside out, you see it has like some silicone dots on the inside, so it really does stay in place pretty well, especially if you have the correct size. But then to put it on, I like to have the bladders over that invagination that I have, that where it gets flat back here, and then over my femoral head on the outside on the lateral wall, because once I do start to lose that distal volume, that's where I kind of start scraping and rubbing. And so this does a good job of helping minimize that. So I just put it on over my liner, and then I pull my sleeve down and don my socket as I typically would. So I'm just reflecting my liner. And then the thing I want to pay attention to is just that I'm keeping this kind of down and flat out of the way. Then I just tuck this in and then reflect my sleeve up. And so now you can see I have my sleeve all the way covered, and so I'm getting still suction. But now if I need to access this, I can just pull this up and then fill up my bladder from here. And now I'm getting up to, like 3-4 ply in there and have good control distally. And then once you have the bladder inflated, then you can also just pop this cap, and then you have the release valve there. So once you push that in, you've released all the air out. And so now I'm back to that just regular 2 ply. And then I can reflect this back down, and now I'm able to head out on the trail and feel comfortable and have that control that I'm used to having again. So again, this is a really cool thing to throw in your bag, or if you have room for the 2-ply, to wear all the time, because you don't have to, I don't have to be bringing 10 socks with me and not sure about which ones I'm going to be wearing at the beginning, and then halfway up the trail realizing like I don't have enough, and so, or I don't have the right layers and everything else like that. So this really is a cool system to kind of minimize that and give you more adaptability without having to bring more stuff with you, which is always nice. You know, all of us are hauling our prosthetic bag everywhere we go that has all of our spare parts and extra lotions and extra antiperspirant and all that kind of stuff. And so it's nice to just be like, man, I don't need to have 15 socks in there anymore. I could just throw this in there and feel confident that I'm going to have what I need. If you would like more information on the transfemoral overlay sleeve, the transtibial overlay sleeve, or the underlay sleeve they have to help minimize sweat, check out their website that's linked in the description. If you're going to be at AOPA next month, reach out to me. Let me know if you'd like to sit down and have a conversation with me about prosthetics, about life as an amputee. If you're somebody in the industry and you're like, man, I'd love to learn about the overlay sleeve or whatever it is, let me know. I'd love to meet up with you while we're out in Vegas and spend a little bit of time, you know, just talking about the world of prosthetics. Other than that, we'll see you next time. Thank you.